Hello, and a warm welcome to Reddit Echo.
In life, there are moments that cleave your existence into a before and an after. Moments that are so visceral, so heavy with the weight of human tragedy, that they become a part of your DNA. They change the way you see the world, the way you hear the silence, the way you look at your own family. This isn't a story of ghosts or monsters. The horror here is real, it's tangible, and it's dressed in the quiet, devastating uniform of duty. This is the story of the day I helped recover the bodies from a plane crash, and the small, stained teddy bear that will haunt me forever. A few years back, the pager went off. That sharp, digital screech that cuts through whatever you're doing and yanks you into someone else's worst day. I was a volunteer with the county search and rescue team. This call was for a small plane down in a heavily wooded area in the next town over. There was hope, as there always is in those first moments. Maybe it was a hard landing. Maybe someone walked away. That fragile bubble of hope is what fuels every responder in those initial minutes. We mobilized quickly, a convoy of trucks with light bars cutting through the evening gloom. When we arrived at the staging area, the scene was a controlled chaos. Sheriff's deputies, state troopers, and other SAR teams were already there. The sheriff, a man with a face carved from granite and years of seeing the worst of humanity, gathered us. His voice was low, stripped of all emotion, which made the words hit even harder. "We've confirmed the manifest," he said. "It's an elderly couple, and their young granddaughter." The air went out of the world. You could physically see it, the collective intake of breath, the straightening of postures, and then the slow, painful drain of life from the faces of the men and women around me. The mission had just changed. We were no longer searching for survivors. We were now a recovery team. The hike into the crash site was brutal. It wasn't just the terrain, though that was difficult enough, steep, unstable slopes littered with broken branches and sharp rocks. It was the debris field. We started finding pieces of the aircraft. A shard of painted metal here, a strip of torn upholstery there. Each piece was a silent testament to the violence of the impact. The smell hit us next, a nauseating cocktail of aviation fuel, scorched metal, and something else, something organic and deeply wrong. When we finally reached the primary impact zone, any last shred of hope was extinguished. The plane wasn't just crashed, it was obliterated. It looked like a giant hand had snatched it from the sky and crushed it in its fist before scattering the pieces across the mountainside. The silence among our team was deafening, broken only by the crackle of radios and the labored breathing of people trying to hold themselves together. Our team leader, a man named Frank who had seen more than any person should, turned to us. His eyes were red-rimmed. "Listen up," he said, his voice rough but firm. "What we're about to do, it's the hardest part of the job. If anyone is not up for this, if you feel you can't handle the recovery, there is no shame. None. You can assist with the rigging and comms. No one will think less of you." It was a moment of raw, human honesty, and about half of our team, some of the toughest people I know, stepped back. They couldn't do it. You could see the guilt and relief warring on their faces. They weren't cowards, they were human. They set up the repelling lines for the rest of us to descend into the heart of the wreckage, their hands shaking as they secured the carabiners. I was one of the ones who went down. I remember the feeling of rappelling into that pit, a complete and utter numbness. It was as if my soul had disconnected from my body to protect itself from what my eyes were about to see. My mind went blank, operating on pure robotic training. And then I saw it. The first thing any of us saw, it was a small, brown, stuffed teddy bear. It must have been clutched in her arms. It lay nestled amidst a tangle of wires and shredded metal, its soft, innocent form a grotesque parody against the hard, violent landscape. And it was soaked in a dark, rust-colored stain that was unmistakably blood. That image, the teddy bear, is burned onto the back of my eyelids. It was the key that unlocked the horror. This wasn't just a crash site anymore. This was where a little girl's life had ended. We pressed on, our movements slow, deliberate, respectful. We found them. The scene is a mosaic of images I will never forget, details I will not and cannot share. But I will say this, seeing that child, her eyes were open, but they were empty, devoid of the spark, the curiosity, the life that should have been there. All the potential, all the future birthdays, first days of school, first loves, heartbreaks and triumphs, all of it, gone, erased in an instant. I've been an EMT for a few years. I've seen the aftermath of car wrecks. I've walked into the grim silence of a suicide. I've dealt with overdoses and the slow, complicated fate of medical crises. I thought I was hardened. I thought I had built up my walls. But this shattered me. It fucked me up for a long, long time. The images wouldn't leave me. The smell lingered in my sinuses for weeks. The weight of carrying a child's body, zipped into a black bag, is a weight that never truly leaves your shoulders. In the aftermath, people ask me, why do you do it? How can you put yourself through that? The answer is simple, and it's the only thing that allows me to sleep at night. It's a burden that must be borne. If I don't stand up and do it with all the respect and dignity I can muster, then that heartache, that depression, that soul-crushing numbness falls on someone else. Another father, another brother, another volunteer just like me. I do it so that they don't have to. I bear the weight of that memory so that a grieving family can have the closure they desperately need to even begin to heal. It is the heaviest and most necessary weight I will ever carry.
Don't want to lose this channel and always be up to date with new videos? Then make sure to subscribe. The story continues, and it's only getting more interesting.